What's this? Drone. Welcome back, guys, welcome back. So this is a £100 drone. Let's take a look then. Cool. Neat. Well, that is light and pretty small. So which one do you do first? That one, and then that one. Or is it that one? No, that one. And that one. There you go. Little camera on there as well. And that is a little gimbal as well. I think you can rotate that up and down. Looks like a heat sink in the photos, but it's not, it's plastic. And that is obviously where the battery goes. Let's get the rest of the bits out. Controller. So that's the controller. Flip that up. I suppose that's for your phone. There you go. Oh, they've actually kind of, the last one I had of these, it didn't actually have enough space to fit your phone. I'm using the phone to record, but yeah, that looks like that's going to fit this phone pretty nicely. Yeah, not a bad little controller. Gimbals feel, you know, as you'd expect for this sort of price level, but totally usable. And that what runs off of, 3 AAAs. Oh, and you get 2 batteries. So these are LiPos by the look of things. 1900 milliamp hour. 3.8 volts. Just nick these batteries out of another controller. That's very reminiscent of DJI. So, doesn't appear to be any charger in here for these batteries. So how do you charge it? There is a charge lead there, which looks like USB. Get a bunch of props. So this is your charge lead. So that presumably just fits on that one way up. You can charge it by USB. Is there any way of knowing when the battery's charged or not? Is there any LED on here or anything? So I just brought it over to the computer to charge. So yeah, there's a little red LED in there, which presumably goes out or turns to green once it's charged. So that's neat. So we'll just let that charge up and then we can have a little fly. Nice looking little drone though. It's super light. I mean, these are brushed motors, I think, as well. I mean, for the £100 price point, you kind of expect that, but you've obviously got a camera on here as well. So we'll check that out. I'll just have a look in the instructions and see how it kind of all works. So you can obviously just fly this normally, just, you know, as a kind of line of sight drone, which I'll do first in here. And there is a Holystone Fpv app, which you can download from the Google Play Store. So I'll try that. So the way these things normally work, yeah, you connect the phone to the Wi-Fi network that the drone has created when you turn it on. So that should be pretty straightforward. So it's got instructions for pairing there. Not sure if you need to do that. It might be paired already. So this is the same as the other Holystone drone that I've got, the 720. So you just calibrate it by putting those both sticks to the right. So there's an SD card slot on the drone itself, which is there. See that in there. So that's useful. I'll try that out. See what the quality is like. I did notice in the specs at the back somewhere it says the FPV view through the phone is 20 frames per second. So there you go. Yeah, it says 20 frames a second. So it's not going to be super responsive or like, you know, a high quality video feed by no means. But, you know, for the price, it shouldn't be bad. It's a neat little package though, and it could be ideal for like a first drone or something. Right, it's not completely charged, but I need to get out of here soon. So I'm going to have a quick little fly and then I'll take it outside later for a proper go. So you sort of just putting that in that way so that those contacts line up with that. And then turn it on. That doubles as a kind of status and orientation light, I suppose, as well. It's pretty cool touch. I'm not sure. Oh. It was already paired, but I think I've just done the calibration as well. Whoa! Neat. That's actually really stable. It is floating a little bit over that way. Maybe you can trim that out, but I wasn't actually expecting it to fly like that as a sort of brushed drone. Right, let's put it down. No. Not sure what that was about. Right, let's try this again. It's got quite a lot of power, considering I was expecting like sort of one of those old like Cyma drones, you know, like that sort of thing, but this actually feels quite locked in. Even with it's like sort of brushed motors, but try a little circuit. The sort of yaw control, the rudder control is like not progressive. It kind of it's either on or off. So look, you can sort of start it and it goes round, but that's it. It's like on or off. There's no progression on that. I don't know if that's something that you can change or if that's just the nature of it, but it's actually quite good for practicing line of sight flying this. Oh. So yeah, stable in the hover, pretty good. A little bit of a sort of power there, so like for a sort of climb out, not bad. Nothing crazy, but you know, I mean, if you're learning this, you could sort of come unstuck really, but we'll have a look at the FPV side of things as well. This is the thing, with this you've got no like sort of features to get you out of trouble or anything like that. It's literally, you're flying the thing for real, which I think is a good way to learn, especially if you can fly indoors without breaking anything. Yeah, nice, so far so good. And this battery, you know, wasn't fully charged, so I'm not sure how long it's going to last or what happens when it will finally run out, but you know, you're gonna come unstuck if you're not used to flying these things line of sight, because everything's backwards. Obviously, when you're coming towards you, you're going to lose orientation. So don't take it outside. If you're going to get one of these, just fly it inside until you really get the hang of it. You fly this outside, and it'll catch a gust of wind and it'll be gone. Simple as that. There's no, you know, you haven't got any return to home or anything like that. But I actually like it. I think it's really cool. It's actually a good way to have a mess about with drones and have something that's semi, you know, I say professional, but it flies like bigger drones would, if that makes sense. Whoa, no. Hey! Right, so yeah, that's what's going to happen. So crash test. As I say, it's so light, there's absolutely no damage at all. What you've got to watch for is if you do have a little crash, these arms, they kind of ping back, so you've got to make sure you get them back in the right place, otherwise it's not going to fly right at all. Right, I'm back at the bench now. You can see there's a few little scrapes on the props where I smacked into the wall a few times. The battery's back on charge. Still showing red there, so I'll leave that for a little while. This is actually the other battery. So what I want to do now is test out the app. So this is the Holystone Fpv app. Now surprisingly, you actually have to register. You actually have to put your email address and create a password, create an account basically to use this app, which I don't really agree with. I think they should, you know, bypass that completely if you don't really want to. Anyway, but that aside, here's the app. So the idea is you're going to have to fire the drone up first and then connect to its Wi-Fi network. On the Android phone. I don't know if there's an iOS app, we'll have to have a look, but yeah, so you've got to do that, and then you get this, it's very DJI looking, you know, that little button there, enter device, very similar to the DJI stuff. We'll get it connected up. I'll wait for this battery to fully charge. Actually, what I think I'll do is I think I'll just disconnect this and then set it up, and then we can sort of fully charge it and take it outside. So I'm going to put that on there and then fire the drone up. So see if it first shows up as a Wi-Fi network. There we go. So it's showing up as a Wi-Fi network there. It's unsecured completely, so it will just connect to it. It's saying obviously there's no internet, which is kind of understandable. We should be able to go into the app now and hit into device, and there you go. Got a video feed. Actually, I've got to say, that actually looks pretty good. Okay, so there is some latency. I mean, yeah, I mean, we'll see how that kind of pans out, but that's a lot of latency. But the quality is actually really good. So, you know, that's obviously coming over Wi-Fi. You know, this isn't kind of a true FPV drone, is it? So, you know, it might be all right. So you've got a few things on here, like you can flip the image around. VR, I suppose that's for like goggles if you're putting your phone in like a headset or something. So you can, you know, actually take pictures actually without any SD card in here. It will save that picture directly from the video feed from the drone, which is pretty neat. And that'll just go into your camera or your phone. So I've just stuck an SD card in the drone to see what the recording's like. Actually, I need to start the recording. That noise is a bit, I need to probably tone that down a little bit. You've also got the gimbal as well, which moves up and down from that control wheel on the controller. So I actually had some trouble recording onto the SD card. I think this won't support anything higher than a 32GB card, so I had to run and try and find a 16GB card out or something. So yeah, I've had this with Holystone stuff before. Now I've put the 16 gig card in, I think it's recording on the memory card because it's saying TF flashing on the screen there, you see. It wasn't doing that before. So I think that's one thing to bear in mind. You've got to use a small card. There we go. It has actually recorded. Not bad footage. It's not terrible. Yeah, you're obviously getting pretty good footage, you know, recorded directly from the drone. You know, being down from the drone, looking in the phone, obviously, you know, it's a little bit laggy, but so at least now we know it works. I'll take it up the field. Right, the field where I normally fly is just up there. It's nice to have everything in a little pack. It's actually might start raining in a minute. That'll be typical, won't it? All right, here we go. So I'm going to try and get this done before the rain comes. So I'll take the drone out. I never remember how to do these. Yes, those two first, and then those ones, and then stick the battery in. Yeah, there is a pretty stiff breeze going on right now, so I'm going to stick my phone in the bracket there. See, this phone actually is quite big, but it fits quite nicely in there. So let's find the Holystone. It looks like it's actually already connected to it because there isn't another network. So there you go. So here's we've got the head up and everything. So you've got no telemetry on this, obviously, because it's cheap. There's no you know, display showing your battery voltage or anything else. So we'll start the recording. Oh, unconnected. What does that mean then? See, that's not what you want to happen in the air. Okay. So this is the thing. You might end up with a disconnection, which obviously is not going to be great. And I'll just get into a hover and we'll see what happens. It's actually a bit close to that. So the thing to remember with this, you've got no stabilization. So there's no stabilization on the, sorry, not stabilization, no kind of hold. So if you just leave it, it's just going to disappear, probably. Anyway, I'm just looking at the screen and the actual things at the same time, and the drone at the same time. You know, it's not bad. Let's just have a look at this. It's just the situation on the gimbal. Yeah, no, it's okay. I thought it might be. So you can obviously tilt that down maybe a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Right, so coming a bit closer. All's looking quite good. It is moving about with the wind quite a bit. You see from the link, like the downlink from the drone and in the app, is, you know, a little bit choppy. It's not terrible. The light isn't great at the moment, actually, out here, so it's going to be might be a little bit grainy. Let's get some altitude, and hopefully we won't lose it. So yeah, just sort of drop them, but there you go. So we're getting quite a nice picture. If I just bring it back so I don't risk of kind of it flying away. Yes, it's getting blown with the wind right now. I'm having to sort of fight it to get it back. That's going to be really unnerving as a newbie if you're trying to fly these as someone that hasn't flown drones before. You really got to be experienced in holding a position. I'm flying completely line of sight at the moment, not using the app. If I was using the app, I'd probably be in trouble because I'm used to sort of FPV stuff. But you know, let's go down the field and let's go down the field a bit and see if we can get some footage. You know, so that, again, there isn't actually any stabilization on this drone on the camera, obviously being low price point and all that. So you know, your video might come out a little bit kind of choppy and stuff, but let's try getting quite a bit of height, and then just so that we can get an idea of, you know, what the footage could potentially look like. Right, I'm just going to let it float. Not doing too many crazy manoeuvres, just so you can get an idea of what the footage will look like. But all in all, I mean, for 100 quid, it's coming back now. For 100 quid, I mean, this hasn't happened before. I don't think it has anyway, not something like this. This is like almost like a kind of real budget version of a Mavic Mini version, probably, I don't know, 0.0.1. No, it's a bit unfair. It's decent. but you could come unstuck because you haven't got any features. You've got no safety features at all, like, so you know, you could end up just losing this. There's no return to home, anything like that, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I just wonder if I'm in, yeah, it looks like I am in the high speed mode. If I flick it to, let's just get it back in a hover and get it back over here, because I'm fighting this wind. I'm having to be on the sticks all the time because it is. So if we put it in the low mode, low rates, then you'll probably find you're not going to be able to fight that wind coming back. So yeah, no, I can't actually fight it. So I better stick it back in full beans mode. I can't. Yeah, now I'm alright. I'm alright now. But yeah, there's a breeze. You probably can't even hear it on my camera because I've got the wind muffler on. But it's not blowing. It's not that stiff, the breeze, but it moves about pretty nicely. For a brushed motor setup, it's actually pretty good. But they're sort of geared, they're sort of kind of geared motors. Now, brushed motors don't last forever. That is another thing to bear in mind. I mean, to be honest, you probably would have moved on after this drone, like once you've had, like, you know, a bit of experience, you probably would end up getting the bug or not, and yeah, just moving on to something else. So reality is you're probably never going to run these motors out completely. Oh, the wind. The breeze is definitely getting me on the breeze here, but it's all right, it's okay, it's handling it. Whoa, right, I'll look down at the screen then. I don't know if I would be comfortable flying this on the screen completely. Let's just have a little go. Of course, the other thing is, the good thing about flying in the screen is if you do get unstuck, so if you come unstuck and you just, oh no, you know, the wind's caught me, I'm flying away, I'm going out. Now, you can basically just, whoa. See, now I've lost complete orientation with it because I've been looking in the screen, but I'm coming back now. So you can actually use the screen to get back. That is one good point about having, you know, your sort of FPV view. Yeah, I'm fighting this wind. It's probably not the best day for this, really, but you know, hey ho, it is going to be terrible weather coming up, so it's not going to be great. But yeah, so what I was saying is, if you do have the FPV view, then you've got a better chance of not losing it because you can always look in the screen, and it's a lot easier to fly something like this FPV than it is. Right, so we've lost the video slightly there. Yeah, because it's a lot easier. But here, yeah, see, I'm noticing it's cutting out a bit. We're getting judder. Is that because I'm recording the screen? I don't know, but yeah. Oh, yeah, you can fly this. You can fly this nicely. It's absolutely fine. It's really good for line of sight practice, as I say. Great little line of sight, cheap trainer to practice your orientation skills with you know, if you want to get into line of sight. A lot more people are doing that now because obviously with the laws about FPV and all of that saga, more people want to fly stuff actually line of sight, and this with no stabilization, sorry, no hold or GPS or, you know, anything like that, altitude hold. You know, this is a good way to hone your skills flying something, you know, before you sort of move on to big FPV stuff. And I wouldn't say, like, some of this sort of cheap toy grade stuff is always a little bit kind of rubbish, and it doesn't give you the correct feel. You might as well just use a simulator if you're going to do that. But I'll tell you what, there's not that I haven't seen a really good line of sight simulator. If anyone knows one, let me know. Well, yeah, good. Have a little fly over there. And try one brave move underneath here. Excellent. I like it. And for 100 quid, I mean, good bit of fun. It's not going to break the bank. You might break it, but you know, hey ho, it's not like you've spent hundreds of pounds. I mean, if you want a camera drone, then, you know, obviously, here we go. So that's the battery alert. Plenty of time to get back. As we saw, you know, when I was over the, oh, it says low battery on the screen as well. That's a nice touch. That I wasn't expecting that to happen on the on this sort of level of drone, and the rain is starting to come. So guys, absolutely brilliant, really. I'm really happy with that. It's I mean, obviously they sent it to me for free and for review. We're dicing around in the wind here, but as I said before, with all this stuff, I don't generally review stuff that I don't, you know, if I don't like something, I'll definitely say, put it that way. And if it's that terrible, I'll say to the manufacturer, look guys, no, I'm not happy with that, so I'm not gonna promote it in the slightest. But there you go, put it down. Happy days. Excellent stuff. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. Catch you next time.